Hey guys, welcome back to Toys in My Closet, and I am your host, Hebot, as you guys should already know. Today we have for you another review, and hopefully an exciting one, and it is the kind of some newly released, but not so newly released, maybe a month or so, Cobra Island Classified Series Deluxe Set Alvin Breaker Kirby with Ram Cycle, and this is part of the Target exclusive Hasbro G.I.joe classified line, which is titled, as you see there, Cobra Island. Now, this is a really nice packaging, really beautiful, really nice nod and homage to the old original Ram Cycle and Breaker figure. Obviously modernized and up to date for this generation that we are in now, and for this actual line. Now, the box is in continued format and stylized open window box in structure, right? And aesthetics as everything that's been released, like the Baroness, for example. Only biggest difference is that this set, for some reason, has less accessories that are more entwined with Breaker that he kind of still needs and is missing. But as you see there, Breaker has a really nice artwork of him there. G.I.joe classified. This is number 29 in the series, and G.I.joe logo, his specifications right there of what he specializes in, as you see right there. Then obviously the Cobra Island actual map and location. A nice, really nice artwork of Breaker on the bike there, as you see. Really, really nice. Going all the way down, which is actually pretty terrific. And also, as we turn back on the bottom, just we have legalese. And this I pre-ordered back last year and got it maybe I want to say a month and a half ago, but I haven't had a chance to really review it, so I figured why not now, because I finally had a chance to. So sit back, relax, have a digital drink, and enjoy me for the ride and review. And hopefully you'll enjoy my take, my breakdown, and what this figure has to offer out of packaging. So let's get him right out. Okay guys, and here we have Breaker out of packaging. And even though he is very simplified in his look, he actually has quite a lot of detail, and he comes out as one of a more classical style, vintage style look from the original Joes, like Clutch and the Grunts themselves. Breaker has a very, very strong G.I.joe classic presence that a lot of the other figures probably doesn't look like it, and a lot of the details went into his facial sculpt, as you see. It looks phenomenal, fantastic. He has the pushback hairlines with that wet look, very nice full set of hair. He has a very grunt, manly look with a beard, with the eyes, almost look photo-tech print, even though he's not based off a real human being. The vest is a nice dark money green, as you see there, with details all over, pouches all over. Then he has the straps from the vest, painted in black with black pockets and holsters. And you can see the collar of his shirt underneath in green, which is very nice looking. The sleeves obviously themselves with black elbow pads in the back. Then you see he has a nice watch there with black gloves. The trousers going down, obviously, with a nice detail over the pants, which I think is the Duke pants. Then you have the actual, knee pads in black, going down to the boots also, and a nice black. They have that nice leathery look and detail on them. So Breaker looks really, really classic G.I. Joe, so to speak, in that sense of how the original Joes really looked like in that first wave of figures from back in the day, which is a cool nod and obviously a cool thing to see that a lot of Joe fans will probably be happy because of the fact that he looks so classic and looking vintage. Even though it's simplified, you see that the black travels down in his vest, and he has nice, pockets. Nice pocket detail, as you see there. Nice pocket detail in his buttocks area. So Breaker's very simplified looking, but very cool nonetheless, and that's what makes him kind of stand out right now more than any other Joe. So now let's take a quick look at the accessories he comes with. And here we are. Here is his accessory. This is Breaker's actual visor, modernized from the classic one to new modern era to make it look more high-techy and yet classic, with the blacks going up, with that little antenna coming out of here, and these little prongs, and then this communication mic, which is a nice soft rubber. The visors have like a different look and color, like teal and purple, giving it that kind of that sunglasses effect. That nice circuitry there and part in the front there, and then the side again, what looks to be some cameras for him to record, and then the back computer compartment. Then you see the top of the helmet has some creases and bangs and things like, from events of war that he's probably been part of. So there is that, and that's the accessory that comes with it. So now let's go and continue, and we'll take a look at his articulation. So for his articulation, first up is his head, which moves left and right very well. He can look down that much. He can look back that much, and he has an independent ball peg right there in the neck. As you can see, it moves independently, so he can also tilt his head a nice amount of range, as you see there. Then on the shoulders, he can lift up the shoulders up to that high, actually a little higher, like that much. He does the 180 bicep swivel, elbows, double elbows. Then on the glove area in the wrist, he has the up and down, I believe, for this hand. He has the up and down, movement, but with no gun, and obviously a twist in the waist. Now in his torso, he has obviously a swivel. And then in the torso area, in the waist, and then in the torso area, it's hindered by this overlay of his, vest, which I don't know why Hasbro doesn't make it where you can take them off and pin them on, but he can bend forward and look down that much, and then he can bend backwards and hyperextend back and look back about that much. So it's a nice range, even though you can't get to the articulation that's there a lot better. But then you have the legs, which you can completely split all the way Van Damme style, and then just pop them up and in, up and in. Then you have the thigh swivel, of course. Then you have the double in the knee. You have the nice boot cut. Let's see. The nice boot cut, like so. Then he can move his foot like that, forward, back like that. And then he has the rocket, obviously. And he can move his legs up and kick that far up, and move his legs that far back. So as for his articulation, he moves very, very well. Very well. So we'll bring in his accessory, which is the helmet, like we've seen already. Oh boy. It doesn't want to cooperate anymore. The helmet wants to X. Let's see. There we go. Here it is, the helmet. And we'll put it on him. Like so. Wow. And there it is. There is Breaker with the helmet, and which looks really good on him, to be quite honest. It looks great, and it makes it really solid presence. So I'm going to add a gun in his hand that doesn't belong to him, but it's from like one of the Fortnite Hasbro, Jazzware figures. So just to give him a weapon and to see what he looks like there with an arm, or rather a pistol. And there we have him with a pistol in his hand. And then, so all I'll do now is let's bring in the classic Breaker, just for comparison. Move him here to the side, and I'll bring in the classic Breaker. And there he is. This is the classic Breaker. Now the classic Breaker, if you'll notice, and you look here, let's move him to the side real fast so you won't focus on him. Classic Breaker came with the same piece of communication in his head. He brought a backpack that connected to that communicator. His harness was more open instead of closed. He had little cantinas on the side with grenades. And then he had a holster for a pistol on his belt. And he had a holster for another pistol on the side of his foot. And that is Commander Breaker, as you see there. With the 25th anniversary version of him, he actually came with the bike in a 2-pack with, I believe, was the Cobra Bubble, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember it off the top of my head. He also has this little pinkish peach looking see-through translucent effect. I feel like it was a muzzle to, you know, give like a filter for the mic, so when he spoke on it, it was clearer. Some people said it was like a bubblegum effect where he was chewing bubblegum, but there's no way to put it on his face to make it look that way, so I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but I think it made more sense that it was a filter for the mic, because he speaks on the mic and gives instructions as a tech guy so they can hear him better without interference. And he also has that pack here in the back coming across. So if you look at him side by side, now you can see where the aesthetics are trying to be kept the same, but at the same time, with the modernization, this breaker kind of feels plain in comparison to the original. They should have gave him a gun holster at least in the belt. He didn't necessarily need to have it one in the thigh, or give him one in the thigh and then not one in the belt. One or the other would have been fine. And I think with the backpack connected to his helmet, would have gave him a more complete look. And I think that's why a lot of people that have reviewed him so far don't kind of feel happy with him, because they feel like he was short. There was a shortcoming with him in the sense that he doesn't have all the things that Breaker actually had, the one that came with the 2-pack on the 25th and the Ram cycle. So that is the comparison with Breaker Vintage and Breaker that is not vintage, obviously, but you know, Breaker from now modernized with the Cobra Island. So I don't think it's so much, people don't mind the fact that he's modernized, but the fact that he doesn't have all the attributes, I guess, and accessories that, you know, Breaker had in the vintage look. So now let's move on and check out the Ram cycle. And here we have it, folks. Here is the iconic G.I. Joe Ram cycle. And the reason why it's so iconic is because this was one of the very first vehicles that was introduced in the vintage G.I. Joe toy line. A toy line that was very long run, and a toy line that really had a extensive portfolio of vehicles and characters. And this is, anyone that's a G.I. Joe fan or that grew up in the 80s knowing what G.I. Joe toys were, immediately can identify and recognize what the cycle is. And it's very well done. It looks gorgeous in the 6-inch scale format, and it doesn't feel cheap, even though there is a lot of changes also on this. It is quite familiar. So let's bring it up closer so we can take a look at it, and we'll put up the side stick, kickstand for the cycle, and you can see how beautiful the green is, the translucent smoked visor in the front. These labels and stickers here were part of the original toy as well. The numbering from the MG 1012 with the G.I. Joe star and logo. The front headlight looking in silver, really nicely done. G.I. Joe logo on the other side with the MG 1027 star sticker as well. The gripped rubber tires with this smoke inlay rim in the gunmetal, with obviously the shocks in black, and the axle that holds the tire. Even this section here for the protection of the wheel well is short in the front and elongated in the back like the original one. Then you see these beautiful black pipes for the engine and the motor, with some silver in there running all the way to the back, with a chain in gray, silver, and gunmetal black on the rim in the back, with the rubber grip tires as well. and the exhaust pipe in black, double-sided just like the original. Then you turn around and you have the little piece here that attaches, that looks just like the original. Just the only biggest difference is this is gray in the vintage, and now on this is black, even with the USA sticker there and this little label sticker here. We're part of the original, the G.I. Joe, the American flag there, the silver thing here panel with the red for the tail light, and then this is black for the seat, which in the original was also a silver gray. And then if you see here in the actual speedometers, which look pretty awesome, you got the numbers and the speedometer, the black, grips with the brakes, the red lights, which identify, the colors of the numbers, speed, and the gauges. And you even have the lid there for the gasoline, where you put the gas in, and it even has this little air vents here, air vents. So it's very reminiscent of. There's one big difference in the cycle that was not implemented from the original. I don't know if it was deliberate or not, but I'm going to bring in the comparison with the cycle now so you guys can kind of see the differences, but how similar they really are as well. So here is the original Ram cycle, and you can see, although it's very vintage, it's still very similar. You got the stickers there, the MG 1027, the G.I. Joe sticker, but clearly in color as opposed to white. And then these little labels here in the panels here in the back, as you see there, it says aid kit. And these are the pieces that is clearly missing, which is two little compartment cases that came with it that was supposed to be, see, it says there saddle pack, I think it is, and number 2, and these actually open, and it was supposed to be compartments with things that came in it. And you see that the back had a little slot where you just slid it on, and you see that the actual pipes of the exhaust were a gray color as opposed to black, and then the actual engine was all green, not painted in silver and black and things like that. And the gas tank is there. You see with the black sidebar, handlebar, and the gas tank, and then a little sticker there. But you didn't see no gauges there, not so modern. And then you see that the glass in the front is basically a sticker, and the front end of the head, the actual headlights is like a see-through translucent piece. And there are the two little stickers I was talking about that had, the same 36 number star there. And you see that, the tire protection cover going on the shocks. It's the same thing, short in the front, long in the back. And then you see there that on the side it has the American flag, and the tail light is a see-through. And then this obviously is the little side panel as well. And you see that the Gatling gun is gray. And you can move it from the back with this little back button that it had here. That makes it spin. And then the top, if you look at the actual stickers, it also says USA. And then the little panel. So, but then you see it has another pack here. And it says saddle pack number 1. And then the seat, like I said, was gray. So very, very similar in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways also very different. So if you put them, you know, side by side, you can definitely see the inspiration, right? But also the modernization of the vehicle itself, the Ram cycle, and how far it's come. Now, one cool feature that you can do with this new one is something that, you know, is kind of cool, but at the same time doesn't really fit Breaker, the character itself. So I'll show you guys right now in a minute. So here we go, guys, and here's the feature that I want to show you. You notice that I can pop out the side panel, and the way they designed the side panel was that you have the ability to actually pop this off, pull this gun out that's inside the Gatling, and the Gatling is meant for you to let Breaker use it as a weapon. But Breaker has never been a character that uses a Gatling gun. This type of weapon is mainly used by characters like Roadblock and the Amazon exclusive classic look Roadblock, which I believe is called the Heavy Artillery one, is the one that actually brings it, also in a different color scheme. So I'm going to put it on him really fast. I'm having a hard time right now. Let me pause so I can put it on. So here you have Breaker with the machine gun or the Gatling gun. Again, it's cool that you can do that, but at the same time, it doesn't fit Breaker based on what we know he actually handles, which is 2 handguns, side pistols, and you know he comes with a backpack as well. So I mean, it's cool, but I feel like it was a cheap way for them to cop out and kind of not have to include more things like the backpack or like 2 hand side guns in comparison to Baroness by adding this big gun. This is a bigger set of plastic and it connects to the bike to kind of give it a gimmick at the same time. Now, as far as replay or playability value for a kid, I think it works excellent. I think it would work really well and kids would appreciate it and enjoy it because of the fact that you can do that and then put it by on. But for the hardcore Joe enthusiasts and fans, well, we probably don't like the idea because it kind of doesn't make sense because we know that this is not part of Breaker. But all in all, it's still cool that you can do it. So now let's take some shots of, you know, Breaker on the bike and do some small comparisons and see how it looks. And here we have the Breakers side by side on their respective bikes. And you see that it looks really cool. And it's very, you know, nostalgic, especially for us, you know, the classic kids that grew up loving G.I. Joe, that we are now grown adults and having the privilege to, you know, collect this line and have this line be part of our lives. So very, very cool, obviously with its subtle differences that, you know, may or may not break the deal, but at the very least it is very, you know, G.I. Joe vintage as opposed to what Baroness brought and the bike that she had. It's a brand new vehicle to the universe because it's not something that even existed in that form or close to that way, that look, in any way, shape, or form in the vintage toy. So now let's do another comparison, I guess, with another vehicle. And here we go. Now, while ideally it's not really the same, I have Hellboy in one of the bat cycles that looks like a bat, which I think is more fitting for him, riding along, and that's what he would look like, being a vehicle from the McFarlane Toys next to a Hasbro bike. And, you know, obviously size is different, and aesthetics. One is military, the other one is fantastical or demonic, or supernatural universes. But either way, still cool. This is what, to give you an idea what it would look like, on your shelf if you wanted to display it some way, shape, or form like this. So that's what it would look like. Now let's take a look. I don't know, something else. I don't know. And here's Breaker next to something a lot more bigger. It's the Battle Cat from Revelations with He-Man's from Revelations, and you can see the disparity in size is tremendous, but it still gives you an idea of what it would look like if you're scaling something like this next to something like this. And so it looks cool, but it just looks very exaggerated in size and nature, so it probably won't fit right, but you still got an idea of what it would look like, right? So there's that. Now let's do some comparisons with some other Joes next to him. And here you go, guys. Here you go. Have a nice little shot with some of his Joes next to him, standing by his side, getting ready for battle, like Barbecue Flint. And then you have Zartan, Destro, and a Cobra Trooper trying to, take him on. And they're ready for battle, trying to do a dynamic, heroic combat theme. And it looks great. Just looking at it here in camera, honestly doesn't do it justice. If you have a setup with in your shelf and you have them displayed, they're going to look absolutely phenomenal and fantastic. It's going to be so nostalgic. It's going to catch the attention of all your friends that probably don't collect figures, but it will be absolutely stunning to look at. This is a fantastic line that I think is just going to keep getting better and better and keep winning everyone over as time goes on and it continues. So now let me go to my final thoughts of the figure and the review. So guys, there you have it. There is my G.I. Joe classified 2-pack Target exclusive from the Cobra Island series. What's his name? Alvin Breaker Kirby with the Ram Cycle. And this is a lovely set. I can't stress that enough. Very lovely set that maybe feels a little shortcoming as far as bringing more stuff with the set itself for Breaker, right? But at the same time, it is the classic vintage cycle. One of the first, very true first vintage vehicles in the 3-point and a 3 3/4 inch line. And it's very nice to see it in 6-inch form, updated for us now and with this modern take. It's very nice to see it in in hand and in real life. Something that maybe a lot of us would have never thought we would have seen, at least not in our lifetime, right? And here we are. Here we have it. It's there. It's a blessing, and it is a wonderful thing that it is here. So, wishful thinking, maybe to get a clutch with a vamp. But if we did, I think it would be fantastic. Probably cost around $60-70, but nonetheless, I think it would be fantastic. And like I said, it's very nice to just keep fingers crossed to where the line might go as it continues and what it can bring to us, the fans. So guys, there is my review and my overlook of the brand new set. I say if you're a Joe fan, without a doubt, you have to add it to your collection. And even if you're not a Joe fan and you like something that's military or military inspired, this will definitely fit the bill without hesitation. It'll look fantastic on your shelf, and it will be a nice piece to, catch an attention and draw attention to your, display. So I definitely give it a good score, and highly recommend it. Just go out and get it if you can get your hands on it. And the wonderful thing is that a lot of people are finding it literally for $12.98 clearance. I don't know, it's because they had too much overstock in certain areas, or they just didn't sell well. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that it's more that they just had overstock instead of it not selling well, because I would like to see more exclusives, obviously, especially vintage inspired, or at least more vintage inspired stuff like this. Not necessarily having to be exclusive, but to come out in the classified series line. Guys, leave a thumbs up if you like my review and my outlook, or leave a thumbs down. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Share your thoughts. Let me know if you like the review, if you like the piece, if you don't like it, if you're going to get it, if you're not going to get it, if you already have it, and what you think about it, and if you agree or disagree with any of my thoughts. Also, share this video with someone you think might like it. It would mean the world to me. It would work and help out in a lot of ways to help my channel directly. And if you are a continued, subscriber that continues to come high and help me out and sustain me and give me support, thank you, because without you, my channel is nothing. And you guys mean the world to me. You know that. I've stressed this many times over. And if you're new to the channel and like what I'm doing, and decided to subscribe because you like what I do, thank you so much, because I know you didn't have to. It means the world to me. But remember, since you did, I consider you now part of my family, or my familia, like we say in Spanish. If you want to find me on social media, I am on Instagram under C_respect, and I am on Twitter under the most powerful gaming historian on Twitter. And as always, you can find me there, DM me there if you want to get in touch or say anything, or perhaps if you want to make a donation or want me to highlight something, it would be my honor, it would be my pleasure. I would love to do so. Just shoot me a DM, like I said, and we'll work out the particulars. So guys, there you have it. Until the next one, this is your host, Ebot, signing off with a wonderful or another episode of Toys in My Closet. Keep hunting, be safe doing it, keep being considerate to others, because we're still in trying times, because we can enjoy doing what we're doing while having fun, but also thinking about others. Good night, guys, and bye-bye.